Hello and welcome. Hi there, it's Andy from Twisted Narrative here, and we are doing a Shadowdark Junkers special. We have just published our very first adventure on drive-through, and we thought we would celebrate that with running Junkers, which is Shadowdark Sci-Fi. Joining me tonight, we've got these beautiful people here. I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Then we're going to go into a little bit of admin for the game, and then we'll get started. So, starting off with you, Kyle.
Strange not having Fliss being first. Hi,
Mm,
my
uh,
name's Kyle.
yeah, apologies to those of you who are expecting Tales from the Smoke. Fliss can't make it tonight, and that's another reason for doing this. We miss you, Fliss. I know that you're actually doing something super cool, so hopefully you're having a marvellous time. Sorry, Kyle, go on.
Yep, I've been role playing for a good few years now. Primarily stuck to 5th edition, but Shadowdark seems to really, well, hit a completely different spot, especially after our last playthrough of Tales from the Smoke. It
Yeah,
really gets the heart pumping, unlike 5e.
it's a different experience, and one's not better than the other. It's just different. And I managed to tempt you into a Feng Shui game, and you've been playing a lot of different things recently, which is great. Um, then we move across to Dave. Dave, you're a new convert.
Hot, yes. Well, I don't know, 'cause I mean, I've been role playing since about 1982, on and off.
I'm talking about
Well,
Shadowdark.
all right. So, well, it's got that real old school kind of vibe to it. So I'm going back to play a dwarf,
Oh,
just as I did in 1982.
a dwarf, 1982 dwarf. I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah.
And we'll move to Malcolm.
Thank you, Andy. Good evening, all. Very much enjoying Shadowdark in all its forms. Have played with Andy now in a number of different flavours of the game. Very much looking forward to extending my character's story a fraction.
Yeah, no, it's going to be an interesting one. And last but not least, Brian.
Good evening. I'm Brian. Sorry, I'm going to have to do this.
They look equally cool on top of your head, so don't worry.
Excellent. That's always the important thing. I'm Brian. I've been role playing for about 20 years now through a combination of text-based games back in the early 2000s, all the way up to this modern spectacle, which is live streamed online play. So I'm in Andy's regular Shadowdark game in the Smoke, and looking forward to moving this, that Smoke setting forward, 38,000 years or so.
Yeah, certainly not 40,000 years, because
No,
that
no.
might get a little bit too close to some legal action.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And for those of you who do follow Tales from the Smoke, the idea really is Junkers is set in the very, very far future of that campaign setting. So there we go. If you haven't seen the previous game of Junkers, we basically did something called Scratching the Surface, which is an introductory starter adventure. I'll put the link down in the comment section below that you can catch up on that if you want. And that is the actual play that we've done a write-up and of the adventure that we've just published now. If you are new to Shadowdark or new to sort of role playing, it's a perfect introduction. You only need that and the free free quick start rules of Shadowdark, again from drive through, to have an evening's sort of fun entertainment. So please, if you've got the time, check it out. But we're going to play Junkers tonight. This is called Danger at Dark Hole, and we'll find out what that means in a minute. But before we delve into that dark hole, We've got a little bit of game admin to do. We're playing pulp rules here, so let us get that started. One at a time, we'll roll a d4, and that will be the number of luck points you've got for this session. We'll start off with you, Brian, and we'll cycle back.
There we go.
3.
points.
Nice start. Then we move to you, Malcolm.
Also 3.
Fantastic. Then you, Dave.
Just skip me because I lost the link to the dicey thing, and I'm just going to get into it in a second.
Okay,
Sorry.
so while you're doing that, we'll roll your dice, Kyle.
Trend breaker with a 2.
2. And we'll just wait for Dave to
sorry.
sort that out. No, that's okay. Whilst you're doing that, in scratching the surface, we created some rules for ship creation, which we didn't really do previously in scratching the surface proper. So you've got, for the very first time, the chance to create your vessel. We'll create it now, both so that people can see. Is that 1 point there, Dave?
Status form, mate.
Yeah. Okay. So the way that ship creation works in Junkers is the ship is effectively another character, another member of your crew or team. Different ships have different classes, just like you have fighter, wizard, priest, and thief. You would have junker, sort of military vessel, dreadnought, scientific vessels, etc., etc. The only one in scratching the surface is the ship that you've got by great coincidence, which is the junker class. So all of the ship stats are the equivalent to character stats, but they are designed for ship scale conflicts. So they don't relate to your character stats. It just keeps everything on an even keel. So a junker class, it's a little star bug really, designed for hauling cargo and not a lot. So it only has 1d4 hit points per level. Your ship is obviously level 1. Who wants to roll the hit points for it? Who's feeling lucky?
Not me.
Go on then.
Okay.
I will be responsible.
We'll roll this, and I'm doing it in the incorrect order here because we should roll the stats first, but we'll roll the hit points and then we will modify them. Is that
Very
a 4?
nice.
That's good. Let's just hope you get some con on it. So, who wants to roll the strength of your vessel?
Oh, all right then.
3d6, please.
Yep. Shots fired.
Okay, that's not bad. According to my math, that is 12. Okay, so fairly strong then. Maybe an ex-military vessel out of commission. Then we have dexterity. How good is it at manoeuvring? Well,
Sorry, guys.
that is 1 dice. Is that a 3
Oh.
and a 3?
Yeah, I seem to be. Oh. Yep.
Dave is new
buggering
to
that
the
up.
dice app.
I am. Yeah, sorry. First time.
Oh,
So
and
there you
that
go. Oh,
is
it's terrible.
a 2.
That's why I should never be allowed to roll dice for anything.
So I make that an 8. Your audio's a little bit in and out as well, Dave. Just so
sorry.
you know, it's okay. It's normally really good. And then we have Constitution.
I'll take that to go along with the hit points roll.
Okay, that's very brave.
Malcolm, you have the con.
Wow,
Apparently I do.
Very
that
nice.
is very nice. So by my maths, that is 15. Are we agreed with
Yep.
Yep.
that? Then we have Intelligence. Who wants to do that?
so I can pick up one.
Okay. If you click the dice, that's it. Oh, that is very nice as well. Wow, another 15. This is a good bit of ship that you've got. Who wants to do wisdom?
Shall I take another one then?
Yeah. There are only 4 of you, and there's 6 stats, so there's going to have to be a little repeating.
There we go.
Okay, that's not too bad. That's a 10.
Average.
Yeah. And last but not least, your charisma.
Okay, I'll grab this.
Okay, that is good. You've done well. So strength 12, dexterity 8, constitution 15, intelligence 15, wisdom 10, charisma 13. Very, very good actually for a ship of this class. So would that be +2 to con on a 15? I think it is, isn't it? So
Yes.
that will increase your ship's hit points to 6 because you do it for first level.
Yep.
So the weapons that it's allowed is only a drill and proximity mines. It doesn't have these yet. They will have to be purchased as the game develops. The armor is only countermeasures. Again, it's not really designed to be a combat vessel. It does have a crew capacity of 5 sloth cubes. Cargo hold is 10 gear slots. So it can be used to hold additional ship, crew equipment, or salvaged xenotech. Now, it has the following abilities: Hauler. So add your constitution modifier, if positive, to your gear slot. So that increases the gear slots from a strength of 12 to +2 to 14. So it is very much designed for getting that gear out. You have a special ability called Small Fry. 3 times a day you can make a DC 9 charisma check to be ignored by sentient spacefaring threats. So fundamentally it's you going, I mean, we've got nothing of value, just let us go. You're wasting your time. Munitions cost a lot of money. So if you succeed upon that check, hey, you've got a charisma of 13, which is not bad. Then you are also calibrated for junk. Whenever you make a scanning roll to find a derelict ship, you do so with advantage. So your scanners have been designed particularly to try and pick up derelicts, so you can salvage them basically. Last but not least, just like in the game for your characters, you've got talents as well. So this is going to be 2d6 for level 1, and you'll get a talent. Who wants to do that? Kyle,
Guess
looks
I
like
can
it's
pick it up.
ready. Yeah, go for it. Okay, so that is a 9, and a 9 is +2 to wisdom or charisma. So your charisma is 13 currently, and wisdom is 10.
Got charisma. People like us. It's nice if people like us.
It's better if they ignore us, so yeah, charisma.
Charisma,
Exactly,
okay.
yeah.
Boosting that small fry aspect.
Yeah, so you go up to 15 then. Perfect. Okay, so yeah, I mean it's much better. You're not designed to be a combat vessel. So your second best choice is just please ignore us, let us go on our way.
With that, I'm suddenly imagining if the ship, usually if the charisma is high, it's the ship is graceful lines and really looks really nice. Think like sort of Star Trek type things where it's all graceful. I imagine if we're really playing up to that, please ignore us sort of thing. Our charisma is actually the opposite, where there's bits bolted on and rust and hand painted, and it looks like garbage. Nobody's gonna want it.
Yeah. perfect use of charisma. Absolutely. I mean, there are no skills in Shadowdark, just ability checks. But if there was skills, like deception would be perfect, which is a charisma check. So, absolutely. And of course, obviously, the rest of the session is going to be taken up with us naming the ship now. Has anybody got any ideas what you want your ship to be called? Or do you want to make that roll on the table? You don't have to keep the roll.
Roll a couple, and I think we'll take inspiration.
Right. Well, I have a table here from another product, another game that I've purchased in the past. Can someone roll me a D100, please?
Mm.
And then let me know what it is.
Okay. So we have an 86.
An 86. That is the 86 comes up as sure shot.
The sure shot.
Doesn't quite seem to suit. I don't know. Let's have another D100 and see what else we get.
Not another broken sloth pod.
Somebody rolling it?
Somebody rolling, or shall I
Oh,
roll it? Go for it, Kyle. Okay, we have 41.
41 gives us the Karina's Reverie.
Ooh, that asks the question, who is Karina?
Indeed.
Yes. Just swap it for Evrock as the captain of the ship, and
Don't know about that.
Yeah.
Dave, would you like to give us another D100? Just we get best of 3.
I think I'm going to mess that up. No, I don't know how to do the D100.
That's okay.
Sorry, go.
Either 25 or 52. Have a look at both of those.
Well, 25 is Fallen Light, and 52 is Nebula Prowler.
Ooh, Prowler. Good. Yeah.
Prowler's got a ring to it.
Yeah.
Are we liking the Nebula Prowler then?
Yeah.
Nebula
Yeah, do that.
Prowler. Okay, very nice. Well, that's done, and obviously, from the sounds of your description, whilst it is called the Nebula's Prowler, Nebula has just faded away quite a lot, so you just quite often call her the Prowler. Perfect. Well, you have your junker now, your own private vessel as well, and look after it. If it gets destroyed, you don't get another free one. You'll have to earn it. I mean, I don't know whether that's advanced storytelling or anything else. So this is where we actually get to play the game, although rolling up characters and ships is all part of the game, and I quite like that. Okay, some time has passed since the discovery of the Xeno Archive, as it's now been called. I mean, it is vast, a moon-sized alien vessel, and no one has wasted precious moments staking their claim or claims. Many junker crews have begun to establish staging posts upon the surface, although this has proven somewhat problematic. It seems that as the archive has moved through the vast void for millennia, it has picked up many stowaways from across the cosmos. The surface of the archive appears not to be as dead as first thought. It is a savage and deadly environment, harbouring many secrets. But the xenomaterial, the actual stuff, the skin of the archive is made up of, or rather contains, rare and much sought after ores and minerals, alien, but already the samples that are coming incredibly useful, and it has attracted the attentions of several corporations. That in itself has caused issues. Tensions are on the rise between corporate survey teams and independent junkers and prospectors, but there are creds to be made, lots of them. You find yourself in Boom Town, an industrial hellscape, a twisted jungle of synthcrete and metal, which now seems to act as a central hub for all those that want to stake a claim, trade, resupply, relax somewhat. This is where you find all of yourselves at the moment, perhaps between jobs, perhaps looking for new work, and it is late into the evening, or rather early into the new day, and just after 2 o'clock. Your TikTok alerts alert you all to an incoming call. TikToks are really important. They tell you when your light is going to fade. They tell you when your oxygen runs out. Everything is accounted for with your TikToks. One could say it's your greatest friend, always warning you when you're about to die. Always that constant reminder of the last few seconds that you have. But this is different. We'll start and go around the table, and we will start with you, Amos. Your TikTok blurts out a call is coming in. Where would you be in Boomtown at this time in the morning?
Probably having drank a few fingers more than he should have done of whatever passes for hard liquor out here on the edge of civilization. Definitely feeling a little worse for the wear, but having enjoyed the evening's carousing.
Yeah.
Um,
And
but
what do
being
you? Sorry.
just
Yeah, go. You
being
go.
a hardy dwarf, recognizing that he needs to bring him from his own stupor, this call, ready for what might come before him.
Perfect. And we'll move around to you, Hardy. You can be in the same sort of place if that's something that you would be. You do know each other. You are of the same crew, but you can be somewhere completely different.
I am probably up to my elbows in some sort of Xenos carcass, cutting it up for science, just to find out what's inside and poke things and see what happens.
Very nice, sir. A late worker. What do you look like?
Hardy is quite a tall, very muscular human male. He's wearing a sort of a sleeveless shirt and the sort of trousers you might find on a mechanic, with lots of pockets. He's got very short, cropped hair, almost like a military cut. And the one most distinctive thing about him that anyone immediately recognizes is he's wearing a rebreather mask. Sort of like a modern gas mask, or rather than a full face thing.
Yeah.
And as he's working, as he's moving around, there's always this constant wheezing from him breathing through this rebreather.
Perfect. Evrock, you get the same call.
Okay, Evrock, I think, will be studying the strange artifact that she uses. It's had a lot of similarities in this place, and she's still trying to uncover exactly what it is and how it works, but being a medium-sized sort of male elf covered in burns and scars, is sitting away in probably one of the corners of the tavern, but just puzzling over this strange octagonal object.
Perfect. And last but not least, Hancock.
Hancock's in a dirty, greasy cafe, up to his beard in food, because it's breakfast time. It's always breakfast time somewhere in the universe. Hancock's just stuffing his fat face. Hancock's an immensely fat dwarf with one leg. He's got a prosthetic on. It doesn't look like it works properly, so he just kind of stumps around. But he's immensely fat as well. He wears old kind of sort of engineering type gear, overalls and stuff, which are generally covered in food.
Perfect.
And it's a fairly disgusting kind of character, but he's quite cheerful.
Excellent stuff. Okay, so you all get the same message. Someone that you're all familiar with, or you've become familiar with over the last few weeks or months. It's from Charlotte Halfacre, or rather Charlie, as you know her, an entrepreneurial halfling, a fixer that has made very fast work at getting her fingers into many of the lucrative pies that are presenting in Boom Town and beyond. And it simply says syndrome now. It will be most worth your while. You are aware that Syndrome is the club, the nightclub, part music for dancing and part gambling den, a place of noise and neon. You're not used to getting these kind of messages at this time. It must be somewhat important. You know that it's currently the place that she makes her office at. It's a good place for hearing things, mixing with people, and the like. The question is do you answer that call?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Amos finds the closest thing to synthetic coffee, because I'm guessing the real thing wouldn't exist out here particularly
No,
well.
not at all.
And scrubs himself up the best he can for a visit to the Syndrome.
Yeah, I mean, Syndrome is an industrial nightclub. It's it's not high fashion. It's full of low lifes. If any of you have seen that classic movie Barbed Wire, you will have images of that sort of night spot there, really. You arrive, you're all relatively familiar faces. You're kind of told to check your weapons at the door, which you do. Everybody does. If you don't, you're not going to get entry. You make your way through the crowd, some dancing, some drinking, eventually into a booth that you see Charlie sort of sitting at. She looks up and gives you a smile. She's of an indeterminate age, certainly seen quite a few number of years, but looks very good on it. Rumours say that she spent a lot of time with the seamstresses and certainly knows her work. She issues you to sit down, and she takes a drink of a lung-fluted glass that seems to have blue in it. She smiles. You're the first. I am pleased not everybody would come as fast, but it is important. I've just received some rather interesting information, and it could be very valuable to you as a Junker crew. But I am a businesswoman after all, so I would require a small thing in return. Nothing much, and it most definitely will be worth your while. I've heard of a location, a mining location, and they have maybe dug a little too deep, opened up, broken through the skin somewhat to to the interior of the archive, and word is that they are awaiting on some specialists to come and descend down. Of course, they do not control this area, and independents such as yourself would have as much authority or legality to go and explore yourselves, should you wish to. All I ask in return is this outpost, this mining outpost. I need something delivered to it. So if you were to go there, do my delivery, I would tell you where it is. How does that sound?
Are we delivering anything dangerous?
Let's face it, everything is dangerous here. I wouldn't have thought that would stop you. You're about to perhaps descend into the heart of whatever this thing is. It's certainly less dangerous than that.
Fine.
Splendid.
Let's do it.
We are... She pauses, looks at you. You have an adventurous spirit. You like creds. It is unlikely you will shy away when I tell you the full details. The location that I speak of is a small mining colony known as Dark Hole. This is a place that is on the dark side of the archive. You know the dangers that are associated with that. It is a distance away from here. There have been sightings of pirates, and there are no communications once you go to the dark side, hence me needing this service of delivery. But the information that I've got is solid. You can go there and you should be ahead of any corporation. The only corporation I am aware of that really has any activity there is Trust Corp, a mining corporation. They believe that this mining site, is a crater that must have been hit by a meteor thousands of years ago, which is why it has perhaps thinned the skin somewhat into the archive itself. So a good opportunity, wouldn't you say?
This Trust Core, they have no interest in delving beneath the skin of the vessel?
They are primarily here to mine for the rich ores, the rare minerals, but of course they have interest. If there is profit to be made, they will be looking at it. But currently they have no expertise, so they themselves won't be delving. They'll be calling in operatives, no doubt, that they are more familiar with. Now, information has reached my ears, and as soon as it did, I have presented it to my favourite group of junkers, but time is pressing. Corporations tend to work a lot slower than independents. So maybe 24, maybe 48 hours if you are lucky, maybe even longer. But I wouldn't sit on this information if you want to make it as profitable as it can be.
I definitely wouldn't want to be within the Hulk for that length of time anyway, I fear.
Indeed. On top of that, like I say, whilst there is no legality who owns this area, no stake has been claimed, no corporation owns the land, the territory, but you know, we are aware of corporate enforcers, and what happens in the Outlands happens in the Outlands. So be careful, my friends, be careful. It is like the Wild West out there.
We wouldn't want to spoil your favourite crew of junkers carelessly now, would we?
Hence the warnings. As I say, there are pirates and tensions between independents and corporations. Well, have never been worse.
Andy, I've got a background of mercenary.
Yeah, sorry,
So is it possible?
your audio's crackling, basically.
Is it?
Oh, that's better. It seems when you lean forward, it's very clear.
I must have a dodgy contact then. Let me just prop my cables. Is that better? Are we good?
Sort of.
No.
It's okay. Do your talking and then have a play around. I can't hear you at all now. Which is better.
Hello.
Hello.
We're
That's
back
better.
now.
Yeah, that's
Is
better.
It's okay. I must have got a dodgy connection. I just switched
Right.
cable over. I'm an Hancock is an ex-mercenary.
Yeah.
And so he might have done some security operations for this trust court at some point in his long life.
Yeah, I don't have an issue with that. Again, this is Shadowdark. If you want to call in that as a thing, I mean, all corporations want things to go their way.
Absolutely.
In this setting,
Or at least
Sorry, go on.
Hancock will have probably have had some previous experience of dealing with corporations on a very professional level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they have a reputation for moving people on. If they stake a claim and people are not moving from their territory, they will bring in mercenaries to move people on.
People like me.
Mm-hmm. They also, a bit like all of the corporations really, they are interested in profit and the bottom line, and certainly not in health and safety, workers' rights and the like.
Hancock looks down at his missing leg.
Yeah. So it's no real surprise or no real secret, they're not doing this for any other reason than pleasing their shareholders. You might have issues, they might have sent for some mercenaries, some of their corporate heavies, to at least try and dissuade people from going down. But that's an if and a but, and you can spend all of your time in syndrome kind of questioning this, and all you're doing is burning time, allowing them to get ahead of you.
I never got where I am today with sitting around chatting in bars. Let's get a move on.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. She slips onto the table a small package. It no doubt contains like a data shard. It's small, and she says, "Your side of the bargain." She taps this. As I say, there are no comms. You have to deliver message like the old postal service. I need this delivering to Thaddeus Nickel. He's the outpost's sheriff. And you are aware that these outposts technically have got a sheriff, a bit like the old Wild West as well, in the fact that the independents will have paid someone to kind of try and enforce their rights. The company will often try and buy the sheriff off. So just because there is a sheriff, you don't know necessarily where they stand until you interact with them. There could be a good man doing a difficult job, or they could just be a company thrall. Okay, with that, you head to the Prowler, your ship, and no need for ISO cubes. It's going to be a journey. It's going to be quite a big journey, maybe a good 3-4 hours. This is a vast place, but your ship is relatively fast, so you're not going to particularly lose time. Obviously, you get your supplies ready, and you take off. You've got the directions of it. It's a good maybe sort of 30-40 clicks upon the dark side of the archive at the moment, because the archive hasn't got a orbit. It's just moving slowly through space. There's a permanent sort of dark side. It's not rotating around. I mean, that dark side might change over time if it passes different systems, but at the moment it's been dark there a very long time. Okay, so there's no need for any roles with piloting or whatever. It's always assumed that you can do this. You're not in sort of stress situations. But just as you are coming towards the border of where you move from the light to the dark, there is a sensor alert. It seems that someone or something is beginning to lock onto the ship. It's at this point I would ask you all to roll initiatives, please. So yeah, I mean we can do this one at a time. So
17 for Amos.
17 for Amos. Okay, Hancock, what did you get?
Did that not roll? Oops. Sorry, hang on.
Okay, Evrock, what did you get?
9.
Hardy, what did you
I don't know what's going on. I
I
just
got
got
a
my god.
12.
12 for you, Hardy. Some of the dice did come up there, Dave.
Did they?
Yeah.
Oh right, they just didn't roll as
You just need to roll. Just need to roll the dice, just a d20, and then add your or subtract your modifier.
I'm rolling it, but it just pops off to the side. It doesn't roll in the
All
thing.
right, so I've got a 15 there.
Have you?
Yeah.
All right, and it's minus 3 on that.
All right, okay. So that is a 12 as well for Hancock.
Yeah, I'm afraid Hancock ain't the quickest guy.
No. So
He's a big
Amos,
man, and he's got one leg.
You hear this happen. It's most definitely there is some kind of weapon locking onto your vessel as you are moving across the moonscape, the archive?
Would have probably been in. I'm going to say in his bunk, like
Yeah.
that's as it starts. Brought to alert by the sharp sound, and realizes that whatever out there deciding to pick on vessels crossing this boundary between the light and the dark,
Hmm.
probably bigger and tougher than we are. So he's going to take advantage of the ship's ability to attempt to, I forget what the phrase was now. I'm trying to find it. Move them on. We are not
All right.
worthy. We are small.
Fry. Okay, so you kind of run up and you're acting before they can fire. That's okay. We've got a you can't see, but there's
No.
a tail coming up here. We've got
Yeah.
a beautiful pussycat. Okay, so quite simply, as you hear this, you can try and open up comms and
Yep.
communicate with the individuals. And it's just quite simply giving the impression that you are a small fry. It is a DC 9 check that you
Yep.
need.
And the ship's charisma is at +2.
Yeah, that is correct. You've got 15 at the moment, which is a +2. Should be simple enough to do to dissuade these people. Yeah, absolutely.
Total 20.
Yeah, so you sort of ping them, and the talent works. That's what it's there for. As you kind of, you don't speak to them basically, but you kind of, there's a way of sort of showing that this is what you've basically got on the ship. You just basically ping them your current cargo, and they just,
Inventory list kind of thing.
yeah, it's just like,
Yeah.
ding, this is our number, this is our ship registration.
Yeah.
We're not worthy. The missile that you're shooting at us is worth more you're going to get from downing the ship. Resources are everything in Shadowdark, and no one wants to waste them. And this is a very standard procedure. And you just hear the beeping stop as they lock off you, allowing you to go on your way. Well
I must
done.
breathe again comfortably.
Yeah. I mean, that would have just been a single missile, which would have been just a D6. So it would have been enough to bring you down if I'd rolled high enough. Of course, if they decided to only shoot at you once. You carry on your journey successfully. The rest of your journey goes unabated. You cross over into the dark side of the archive. Doesn't really mean a lot to you because you kind of are in sort of space anyway, but the bulk of this massive moon is now between you and the sun, so you do see the light dim down until it is pitch black. There are lights on your ship, but as you get ever closer, looking at the data, your navigation charts and everything else, there seems to be something amiss. D Hole has a small outpost. It should be lit up. There should at least be landing lights and the like. And at first, you begin to think that you have read your charts wrong. It's dark, so it's very difficult to pick this out. You can see kind of the outlines of a massive crater, and on the edge of this crater should be this settlement, and there should be lights on, and you realize that all the lights are not functioning. It seems that it has gone dark
Looks like
too.
Power out.
Yeah.
Power outage. Looks like they've got.
If we're lucky. Hardy, again, wheezing as he talks and moves. Does the Prowler have any sort of sensors of any kind, or
Minimal,
sort of,
really.
Yeah.
It's not going to pick up things like life forms and everything else. It's not. You can purchase sensors to do all of
Yeah.
that, but at the moment it's fairly basic. The
I
fact
was
that
I was thinking just like heat or electromagnetic energy or just any sort of thing like that.
yeah, it seems that the lights have been out for a while. You're not picking up any kind of real sort of strong heat sources from it at all.
Mm.
Would there normally be some kind of radio communication now we're in line of sight?
You
I know.
can certainly you can certainly try now. You're closer.
Is there an emergency beacon? Something
Yeah,
like
I
that?
mean, again, it's very basic here. It's a small outpost, but there should be things there to help you out, and you start doing all of this. You start kind of trying to contact their relay radios. You try to find their beacons, and yeah, all of the power is out. Um,
And we've gone too far to get a message back to Charlie easily.
Yeah, you would have to go back, and that is going to buy the corporate precious time.
You did say there was no comms available at the Darkhold, so there's no communications.
Yeah.
What sort of distance
Well,
is that? It's just literally zero.
now that you're close, you've tried to communicate, and there's just static.
But it's only right.
But you have to be close.
I look over at Amos and go, "They're dead. It's cold. There's no heat. They're dead."
Which leaves us
Unless
with
anyone's
opportunity.
No.
Can we
There's no.
set this down and have a look?
Yeah. I mean,
unless someone's in stasis. Sorry.
there's no reactor energy. There's no reactor heat or battery pop heat. In space, if you're cold, you're dead.
Yeah.
So I think we need to go into this situation fully expecting the worst.
Agreed.
As batteries discharge, they get cold, don't they?
Yeah. I mean, at the very least,
So if it's
you
running,
need heating on.
Evrock, thoughts?
Bring her down. At the end of the day, we came here for the piercing the skin of this thing, so if we can't find
Maybe
Thaddeus.
Yeah, find out what happened to Thaddeus on the way back.
I mean, if they are all dead, salvage rights. This is what you do. You're junkers. This is derelict.
gear up,
Yeah.
suits on, vac suits on.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go outside and take a look. Have a look around. Can't hurt anybody, can it?
How close are you going to try and bring your ship down? And you're going to have to do this in the dark without navigation help. So it is going to require a little bit of a roll. Are any of you designated as pilots? Do any of you have a background that would indicate that, or anything else?
Well, I believe Evrock was piloting last time, but if anybody else wants to give it a go, I'm quite happy for them to.
Does piloting involve a lot of dexterity rolls?
Well, not your dexterity, but the ship's dexterity, which is at -1.
Yeah.
If some of you are highly skilled pilots, you could have advantage on this roll.
Evrock is a pilot, so
All right, so you're claiming that. That is fine. Okay, so give me a ship dexterity roll, but with advantage because you are claiming the role of pilot.
can I argue for your intelligence on ship systems?
Well, you could do if it could communicate with the other systems to lock in, but you're doing it blind. Hence the roll. I mean, normally you don't have to worry about this. Normally you just tell the ship, park yourself, and it goes and parks itself. So that is a 12 minus 1 and 11.
Look, boy.
Okay. Are you happy with that? It's not enough to crash the ship, but it's not a smooth landing. Again, you can be transparent with the outcomes of this. One or
I
two
imagine
more dents.
I imagine it's the classic, camera shake as we all.
Yeah,
You know.
absolutely. Are you going to be happy with that, Evrock?
Yeah, I think it's appropriate.
Okay,
Yep.
cool. Would you be aiming for there's a designated landing area, which is relatively close to the outpost, or have you gone rogue a little bit and landed it outside the outpost?
I am leaning towards outside, but I'm open to input as we could have discussed this as we're going down.
You can always talk out of character if you want.
The further away we land, the longer it'll take to get there.
Yeah. It's not as though we can hide the ship regardless. It's going to be spottable.
Oh yeah, I mean you've come down, you've had to have your lights on to see what's going. Trying to land it in the dark.
Also, if we get interrupted and we need to get to the ship as quickly as possible, we want it as close as possible. Landing pad. We're legit. Landing pad.
So you bring it down. There is another ship next to yours. As you bring it down, there's enough space to do it. It looks like it's the transport from the outpost. So you bring your ship down.
Is it nice?
It's a
Is
transport.
it a nice ship?
It's a transport. So it's a transport class, which is a glorified sort of coach, basically designed to bring miners to and from. They don't necessarily spend all of their time here. So if we were talking vessels, it's like swapping your cargo, your lorry, for a bus, basically. It's not a desirable, sleek corporate vessel. It's a dirty vessel designed to transport miners from A to B.
We're
I
not
prefer the
stealing
Prowler.
Okay.
Opportunities.
So
Worth considering.
The next thing that you do, you bring it down. There's not a very pleasant sound with your landing gear as you bring it down.
That didn't sound too good.
It always tends to sound worse when you're inside the vehicle. I mean, that's kind of what the pilot always says anyway.
I'll take a look at that before we set off.
Every time that they say a pilot says that, I go, yes, because outside no one can hear you break anything.
So you put your evac suits on, you gear up. One assumes you're all aware of the gear that you can carry and the gear slots that you have in Shadowdark. Now, at the moment, you do have a small amount of ambient light from your ship. That's absolutely fine unless you want to turn those off, but that's going to rapidly fade as you move into the outpost itself. Are you leaving the lights on your ship or turning them off? It's not going to drain the battery. It's
Has the potential to buy us more time if they're off. If we had a hard landing, then theoretically a corporation would do the same. But it's easier to find if we leave them on.
Might as well leave them on. I mean.
Okay. So you disembark, and as you begin to sort of move around, with leaving the lights on, I was asking the question for a reason. It is fairly obvious that something has happened to the transport vessel. As you move around it and sort of look back at it, maybe Hancock wondering whether he can turn it into some kind of tour bus or something. You see that the undercarriage has been rent open, and it looks like it's been deliberately damaged physically from the outside.
When you say rent open, it's been. I mean, what has it been pulled up?
So
How would you rend a ship open?
well, I mean, there are panels on ships that you can, to get into engineering.
Right. Does it look like someone's gone at it with crowbars and that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Does it look like it's?
As you go across there, it's certainly no creature. There's no horrible claw marks, but it looks like someone has deliberately crowbarred some of these
Sabotaged it.
panels. Yeah, and well, wrecked it basically. It's going to take a good amount of work. Doesn't look like it's been done in any kind of skill. They've gone to town on it.
Do we have the? Do we still have the package that we were meant to deliver? Do we have it with us?
Yeah, but obviously, well, I hope you do, because if you
Well,
left
yes.
it back there,
Well, I meant to hand.
Yeah.
Because Hardy looks over at Amos and goes, I'm not close to opening this up and finding out what's on that shard or whatever it is we're delivering, because this sounds suddenly like interesting information that might. Somebody did that on purpose.
Yeah, I'd try and lay hands on Thaddeus first, see if we can find him. But if not, then yeah, we're in that packet.
Description was only implied. Nobody said we couldn't open it.
Yeah. Could we get inside and have a good look through the transport vessel?
Yep, you can move up there. The inside, well, the door to it is fixed. It's not opened. You're going to have to somehow bypass to get in there. It might be the reason why it was attacked from the outside. Does anybody have in effect thievery?
Nope.
Okay, no. So your other option is to force your way in.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to try and do that? Okay.
I don't know if it's worth the time. I mean, it's locked. You know, whoever did that couldn't get in. Yeah, I don't know if.
Maybe we find more in the outpost itself then.
Yeah.
I've got my toolkit. Can I have a go at it?
Huh?
Are we going to benefit from anything inside of it? I assume most of us are fairly loaded up in preparation for this expedition.
Yeah.
It was a chance that somebody'd hold themselves up inside and we might learn something. Was all Amos was after. Information. Perhaps.
That's true, but we did just make a heck of a racket coming into land, so if there's anyone in there, they might have come out to see what was going on.
That's fair. Yeah, okay. Make us way into into the port.
Okay, yep.
So you head off towards the outpost, no more than sort of 50 or so steps away. The dark begins to envelop you. Is anybody going to light a flare? Yeah.
Yeah, Amos cracks a flare against his big glass shield and puts it in the little holder he has at the top.
Perfect.
Awesome.
So as you crack that flare and move off into the darkness, you're all sort of huddled around there. That is where we're going to take our break. I'm not going to start the timer till we start the next session, next thing. So we're going to take a quick break, 5 or 10 minutes, and then we're going to come straight back and you're going to explore Darkhold and see what on earth has happened here. Thank you very much for watching so far. Don't forget to join us in 5-10 minutes time. Stay tuned. Take care, everybody. Catch you all very, very soon. Hello and welcome back. So, our crew of junkers have just descended down into Dark Hole on the dark side of the archive. They have left their ship and started making their way into what should have been a busy mining outpost that seems to be somewhat deserted. We ended part one with the lighting of a torch. So we're just going to start the timer on that. I would all like you to roll initiatives, not combat initiatives as well. So time is of importance now, not just because of your light, but because of complications, encounters, and the like. Currently, you are not in a stressed, dangerous situation. So once we go around initiatives 3 times, we'll be doing an encounter roll to see if anything troubles you. That will be every 2 times if things get a little bit more serious, and then every time if you get into danger. So, what was your initiatives? We'll start off with you, Dave.
My dice appear to be tiny, and I can barely read them now when I roll them.
Okay.
I don't know, and I couldn't read it. If I roll like that, it just goes off to the side. I don't get to see the dice rolling.
I don't know what you're doing, but I can see that clearly. You've got a 9 on the dice, and your dex modifier is
-3.
So you have a 6, Dave. It's whoever's got the highest, basically, and then we'll go down. So,
that would have been me with a 21.
21, yeah, that sounds pretty good. Does anybody beaten a 21?
Hell no.
Yeah, okay. So
Andy, I've got advantage on dex. Is that?
Yeah, you can roll it.
Should I roll?
I think it's highly unlikely you're going to beat a 21 with a -3.
I also
modifier.
think that. But
so,
I should be rolling 2 dice if I'm.
Yeah, if you have advantage on dexterity.
Oh, I could have pressed. Yeah, sorry, I've just.
Yeah, I know that you're new to this. Okay.
I still can't read that. I don't know why it's. I changed my dice colours and it's.
It's clear as day to me. That's a 12 on the dice. I don't know whether you have minimalised the app or you're not reading the app. You should have like a big screen, and you should be able to easily see the dice sort of rolled on it. But it's okay. We can read them.
Don't worry about it. You can read them. You'll have to tell me what I've got. Yeah, exactly. No worries.
So, Hardy, time is important not just for light, but also because of the chances of things happening. So, what would you like to do? You've got an action and a move.
Yeah. I would like to move towards the settlement.
Yep.
Hardy's carrying. He's got his evac suit on. He's got sort of a crystalline-looking dagger in a sheath at his belt, and he's got some funny-looking. The gloves on his suit are not the standard issue, so he's got sort of funny-looking gloves on his suit.
Perfect. What you basically see, you've left your ship, the Prowler. You've made your way here, so you're on the outskirts of the settlement now. You can see that there's a lot of single-story, in effect, miners' domes, these prefab type things that are just brought and rapidly installed. That is what this settlement is mainly made out of. There are a couple of larger ones, though. The smaller ones, obviously, residences. The larger ones, maybe communal. There is a mining operation going on here by Trust Corps, so they might have a larger one. You are aware that there's supposed to be a sheriff based here as well, so there would be a larger one for them. Did you want to head towards some of the smaller ones, or head towards the centre of this outpost?
I think that my goal would be the center of the outpost, but I'm not going to go outside the radius of the torch.
Yeah, makes sense. And it is black. There are a degree of stars in the sky. There's not a huge amount of atmosphere, so you kind of see upwards, but it's amazing how dark it truly is here. Then we're just going to cycle round. So, Evrock, are you doing the same thing, or is there something else that you would prefer to do?
Yeah, he was doing a similar thing, going out from there, clutching at artifact, and ears are straining out for the skittering sounds that still haunt his nightmares.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe that's them. Maybe they've come through, and I mean, it's a possibility. Hancock, are you basically rallying with everybody else, or are you doing something?
Absolutely, yeah. I've picked up my well, it is my door opening tool.
Yeah, I mean, it can be anything from like a door jack to something a little bit more sophisticated. You can.
Yeah, I think it's more of an axe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Hancock might be fat, but he's immensely powerful.
Yeah.
And
Perfect.
he's got a very large door opening implement.
Yep. Absolutely.
And he's wearing and he's got like armored plates, and he's obviously liberated Evaxu.
Yep.
Which is some ex-military thing.
Perfect. And then we move to Amos.
Yeah, heading towards the centre of town, definitely on the lookout for what should have been a sheriff's office.
Okay.
Still determined to find what happened to Thaddeus. Nickel.
Yeah. Perfect.
Not quite copper, but nickel.
Okay, so
has anyone been here before?
No.
I've never been here before.
No. It's relatively new. I mean, the whole archive is relatively new, and this settlement, this is why there are these prefabs here. It's not really had time to even bed in properly. So that is one rotation of the clock, and we move back to Hardy. It seems that Amos is keen for you to try and locate the sheriff's place first. Is that going to be your primary sort of goal? Okay. So keeping within the light and moving around, moving forward, using your observational skills, you do notice something that is most likely going to be the sheriff's. You can't see it clearly yet. There's a couple of things and more sort of residential, but it's larger and sheriff's sort of office in this kind of outpost would have a sort of side kind of jail area for drunks and disputes and everything else, and it's basically got that kind of shape that you think, and with them being prefabs, all of these settlements kind of look the same as well, so it's not a difficult task. You just need to get to it, and you can point in the direction for everybody else to sort of follow.
Yeah, I'll do that.
And then we move to Evrock. Are you heading that way as well?
Yes.
Perfect. Assuming that Hancock, you're doing the same, and Amos,
I'm staying, stumping along. I'm a sort of ambling along in a uncomfortable, big fat
one
kind
is
of guy.
assuming you're suspicious of this, something odd has happened here, and you're all paying attention and keeping out. That doesn't really need to be said. Okay, so it's going to take you 2 more rotations to do that. I'm not going to ask you the same question again because you've stated your intent. So that does mean we get to have a roll of the dice. That is a 2. No consequences of your arrival as far as you're aware yet. I would say that these are random. There are other things that are not random that might be happening at this point. You get to the area of the sheriff's office. You can see it's got a sin. It's got a Plastech sign on it saying sheriff. It's in one hell of a state, though. The front door has been smashed in, and it's partially the wall has collapsed as well.
Is this what when you say smashed in? Has it been like blown up, smashed in? Is there signs of
Again,
fire or shooting or anything like that? Or
yeah, you would say this is more akin to a mob, just looking at it, rather than anything else, basically.
Right.
It's like a riot has happened here. There are signs of blood being spilt.
Amos checks the threshold of the front door as best he can. Not a feat, but looks
Doesn't
to make
matter.
sure. Yeah.
You know what you're looking for, and you sort of look at it. I mean, it's difficult. There's signs of a struggle here. As you all look, we are sort of in initiatives, and I am counting round. There almost looks like there's signs of people that have fallen here as well, and there's blood trails of bodies being dragged away. It looks very much like there were two sides to this conflict. There were people inside and people outside. It looks very much like
winner and a
the
loser?
people outside lost, and they have been dragged off.
Do you want to take a look in there? Who's got the light?
Yeah, and I'm going to call out to see whether our Sheriff Thaddeus Nichol is still alive.
Okay, you shout out.
Yeah. Friendlies entering, that kind of thing. No hostile.
Turning, looking into while you're doing that, I'm turning around and looking up and down outside to see if there's any action outside.
Okay, so you shout and you wait for a reply. We are going to go round and give everybody a chance again because we are counting down Hardy. Are you going to wait for a reply, or are you going to just move in?
Well, Amos has already sort of checked the entrance
Yeah.
and not found any signs of traps or anything. I think I'm going to move in, aware that time is pressing and something very nefarious has happened here.
Yep.
I will voice the question for the party, which we're probably all thinking is, what turned these people against each other this violently?
I mean, you are aware that Trustcore have an office here. They are corporates. Most of the prospectors here would be independents, and you know that tensions are wearing. It could easily have been something as simple as this. As you step inside, it's kind of strange. It looks like there's been a little bit of a struggle around the door area, but the obvious sign of the winners, the people trying to break in, they haven't broken and smashed this place up or even taken stuff from here. Most of the room inside is intact. What you can actually see is there's a small sheriff's office. There is a desk. There is a gun cabinet, which unfortunately is open. No weapons there. Maybe they were using them in defense of this place. But you also notice to one side there's quite a large reinforced door. You probably aware this would lead to kind of the cell area that I spoke of. There's no view through it. You would have to get through that door into the cell area itself. So with that and your observations there, we move to Evrock.
Rock's going to go in and bang on the door, just
Okay.
make it very clear, although we've already shouted out that we are moving through the property.
Yeah. You bang on the door. You hear movement inside. you hear whispers. You can't hear what they're actually saying, but there's definitely people in this area. You get the suspicion that they're trying to not be heard. They're very quiet. It's just you being a junker and well, your senses are more acute to this. You're listening out.
Then I guess it'll be calling out again. We're doing a delivery for Charlie. We're looking for Thaddeus Nickel.
Okay, so I'm going to roll a reaction. So 2d6, and this will add on your charisma.
Oh.
That's a 5. What is your charisma
Can
modifier?
I choose not to answer that? It's -3.
-3. Hurrah, we're coming for you. Boom, boom, boom. Come out. What's going on here?
There's ways of talking to people, lad. You know what I mean? It's
yeah,
he's scared.
It doesn't perhaps have the. You think that you've got it all straight in your head how you want this to happen, and very much you do say it in the manner that you said. Obviously, they have been traumatized and react badly to it. Then we move across to Hancock.
Well, I say that. I say, you know, there's ways of talking to people. You know, you don't have to sound so aggressive. But it sounds so threatening. And I'm stood by the door, keeping an eye on the street. So you know, is there any sign of life on the street?
Not
outside?
at the moment.
There's no lights or anything like that.
No,
or...
the whole thing
okay,
was dead as you were
Look,
looking at that.
See if you can open the door from inside. Is there some sort of control pad or something, or
Yeah, we
is
are.
is there keys in the sheriff's desk or anything like that?
The door. We'll have to move to Amos for this. Because we're moving this. If you wanted to examine the door, there is an electronic keypad which is not working at the moment, but there is a fail-safe as well, obviously, which means that there will be like iron bars. Once the electronics fail, iron bars would slip in. There must be a way of manually opening this door. Do you have any engineering skill or anything else? At the very least, there's a big axe. What you really need is some kind of door jack just to click it into the manual and kind of pull these bolts across. Have you got a crowbar? Has anybody got a crowbar?
Has anyone's got a crowbar? I don't think it was a listed item, but might attempt to artificially use the heavy, so like Plastek's shield and spear in combination to.
Okay, well this will be improvised. Yeah. So give me a strength, but with disadvantage.
That sounds fair. And +1, so a total of 12.
Oh no, you disadvantage. Yeah, 12. Yeah, all it's doing is burning up time and making noise. The 12 is going to work, but it does take a little bit more time than anticipated, and there's a lot of clanking and rattling going on as you and bang bang bang. At that point, sorry.
I do my best.
Yeah. No. But you managed to get these back. You hear, stop that. I'm armed. The voice is loud, and it's gone from being whispers to it's fight or fright time, and most definitely it's time to fight. As you hear that quite commanding voice, really.
might guess it's a sheriff's voice.
No, you've got no idea. I
Right.
mean, it's a
We'll
male
get the
voice.
door open and calling out,
okay.
if that's Thaddeus, we've
Okay,
been sent by Charlie.
perfect. Hardy.
I'm going to move to sort of take cover, maybe behind the sheriff's desk or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Okay.
That'll be it.
So there's a time for another random roll. Okay. You hear Charlie. Right. Okay. You have a ship.
Yes, we have a ship.
Good. Good. Open the door slowly.
He
No
will still
sudden
the best he
actions.
can. Mhm.
So we move to Evrock.
I'm guessing Evrock probably has the packages. She's the one who agreed to it, so I guess I'll be waiting by the door, reluctantly empty-handed.
Okay. Then we move to Hancock.
I'm waiting for the door to open and say it's okay. We're not here to fight. We're not here for trouble. Just the
Okay.
opposite. And I've got my hands on. I've got both hands on my my door opener.
Okay. Then we move to Amos.
Does his best to open the door as smoothly as possible,
Yeah,
accepting probably not very.
You open the door and you can see that there are 4 cells in here, but they are cells with bars as opposed to sort of the solid door that was blocking it. In the far cell, you see there are 3 individuals, one fairly wounded but patched up, the other 2, one male, one female. There is the male that you do see wearing a sheriff's badge is pointing a pistol towards you. You're probably sort of near distance, basically, but doesn't kind of blinks at the light. There's no light sources in here at all now. You see that there's the packages of rations that they've been surviving on. The smell of their toileting habits, but that slows down when obviously they're not as consuming as much. It looks like they've been holed up here. Your guess would be maybe 2 days, something like that. So not particularly life-threatening in terms of supplies, provided they've got water and food. So you know about this, he says. Charlie sent you for this, or just your... Are there others? How many of you are there?
There's only us. Calm down.
What do you
We're,
mean? There's only you.
There's nobody coming to threaten you. There's nobody coming to harm you. Charlie asked us to deliver something.
He starts laughing manically at that.
Someone give the man his package.
They are here.
Whom?
The miners, the outpost. They turned on us. They
Why?
are here. I don't know. Doctor kind of looks at the wounded woman. Look, let us just get to your ship and get out of here. We'll tell you when. At that, you all begin to hear noise starting outside.
Can I look back at the door? Because I was kind of hanging back a little bit there.
Yeah,
While
yeah.
You know, I
can-
was hanging around by the door. Is that what? Can I see anything? Can you hear things?
Yeah, there's kind of a strange sound of a number of feet sort of walking, but some of the feet seem to be dragging on the floor.
Okay,
There's
we've got company.
sort of grunts going on. Uh, uh, um, uh, it's your choice. Come in here, or I'll try and hold them off. We couldn't hold them off.
Fight our way out, get back to the ship.
Move quick.
Yeah.
Get them out.
We've
Bring them
got
out now.
wounded here.
Can the wounded move?
All right. Just about. Can you give me combat initiatives, please?
Yeah, sure.
So it's just normal initiatives again. So 15 minus
-2, so 13 again.
13. Oh, that's a 20. Very nice.
Natural 20.
Do you got any modifiers on that?
-1.
So a 19 for Amos. We managed to roll with initiative this time as well, Hancock.
I know.
So you got the 14, and that's -3, so an 11. And sorry,
I
what did
managed
you?
to make my dice work again.
Brilliant. What did you get, Hardy? Was that a
2.
1? 2. It's okay. And whatever is making the noise will roll initiative as well. Oh, they are going. Not as fast as you, Amos, but faster than you, Evrok.
Amos, with his soldier's background, like snaps into action. Everything becomes reflex at this point.
Yeah. So what would you like to do? You get to go first. You have an action and you have a move. You are by the door to the cells. You can hear noise coming from the outside. This office is not massive. You can easily sort of half move to the door, take a look, and half move back.
I try and convince the sheriff that we need to move as a group and we need to move now. Can you move your wounded? We will protect you on the way to our ship. And then make for the door and get in the street, prepared
Okay.
behind my big shield.
Okay, you do that. He says, I need to get the door open. I need to, we're going to have to carry her.
Yeah.
We'll do our best.
You look after your own, we'll look after you.
There are so many of them. As you get out onto the street, you see that sort of moving along, there's a mass of miners, except they look wrong, very wrong. There's probably about 4 or 5 of them for the moment, and the only thing that they have in common now is they seem to have torn their eyes out. They seem to know that you are there, but none of them, just gaping old holes in their head. In addition to that, a number of them have made cuts in their face around their mouth. There seems to be slits going down from the sides of the mouth and then up from the sides of the mouth, and they've pulled their flesh apart. So there are these horrible flaps of flesh bearing their teeth. 1 or 2 of these, though, are crawling along the ground, moving backwards and forwards, sliding along the ground as if they are some serpent. They're not particularly adept at it, but they are making efforts. It's strange to behold, but as you appear, they all look at you with no eyes and begin to move forward. So that is your move. That is what you see. It doesn't take your action to see that. You can do something if you wish to.
Ooh, the most upright and mobile of the oncoming ex-miners, I attempt to shoot in the face.
Yep. Give me a roll, please. They are only minors, so you just need a 12 or higher.
Okay, let's have a look. Pistol shot is with dex or strength. I can't remember what we decided.
Well, it's a missile weapon, so it'll be dex.
Yeah. Okay. That is a -1, which I thought was right.
That's still good.
18.
Yeah, you hit. Give me some damage.
Just a D4 for the one pistol.
It's only 1 point
pinged
of
one.
damage. Yeah. It hits them. They are wounded and they do bleed. And
Ooh.
as we know, if they bleed,
You can
kill them.
Die.
Sorry,
And
you're gonna.
an extra point of damage from my weapon mastery.
Yeah. So 2 points of damage, still not enough to put them down fully, but it's a big gaping wound that they soldier on with. Really, they seem to be very intent on you.
Yep.
So we are going to cycle. Well, no, because we've got this. Oh, it's their go. Are you going to move back? Are you going to do your half move back, or you staying where
Only
you
as
are?
far as the outside door to the sheriff's office. I want to try and create a barrier so people can leave behind me.
Okay, this is going to be difficult to do, for they are going next.
Yep.
They have to move near and near again.
Yep.
They're too far away from you to move and then attack, but they are right in your face now. What you also notice is that from the left of you, more are coming, and from ahead of you, there are more coming as they seem to be emerging out of the darkness. With that, we move to Evrock on the 13.
Okay. I think Evrock's going to just assist moving people out quicker now. Getting the
Okay.
doors open, helping them through.
You see that he's got. You can take the keys off him and use your action to open up the door if you want. While
Yeah,
he starts getting the wounded up. Okay. So you open the door. Are you going to move out with your move?
Yeah, I guess so. This is
Okay,
yeah.
so you're close to the door, not necessarily outside. And then we move to Hancock.
I was at the door.
Yeah.
I'm starting out the door,
Yeah.
and we're all pushing outside. So I'm going to step out into the street.
Okay.
Are they very? How close are they
They're
to me
right
now?
next to this door now. So
Oh Christ! Oh, I hit them.
yeah.
If they're that close, I'm not going to mess a
Oh yeah.
pussyfoot about shooting things. I'm gonna whack one of these with my door opener.
Yeah. So
Trying to clear a path out of the door.
Yeah, you forge forward.
Which probably means I need to roll a dice.
It does.
Oops. And yes. I think that's oops. Oh damn, I'm not used to this system. I'm terrible with bloody screens. Sorry guys.
It's okay.
We
all have to learn. So you just click on the dice. That's it.
There you go.
14 plus your modifier. So that is an 18 in total.
Yep.
Very nice. That is most definitely a hit. You roll your damage on top of that. Oh, that is good. How do you want to take this one down as you hit it with your door opener?
I step outside of the door and I give it a butt it in the face, and it just crumples its face.
Yeah, just
and it falls away from the door.
It's really horrible because I say
its teeth go everywhere.
Yeah. and you just do it. Doesn't seem to be. I mean, there's blood and teeth everywhere. This thing is not an undead. It's not. This thing is most definitely living, but there are just these black holes where their eyes once were. That one collapses to the ground, and it's kind of strange.
And then
Yeah, go.
Sorry.
No, yeah.
Well, I was going to say I'll start moving out as long as I'm not like getting surrounded.
Well, it's going to be very close.
I don't want to.
They're coming from two other sort of locations at the moment. But with that, we move to Hardy.
I'm going to move into the jail cells if necessary. Try and find the least mobile of the victims.
Yeah, there's only one
wounded.
that's wounded.
Right. Does it look like they can move under their own power, or are they going to need...
You probably will have to give them a shoulder to lean on. They've got
will...
damage to a leg.
I'm just going to pick her up
Okay.
over my shoulder, full.
How many gear slots have you got at the moment?
I have got... Let me just check. I have 2 spare gear slots.
Okay. You are now full with gear.
Yep.
For the moment, as you pick this person up, which is fine. You're allowed to do that, and you are allowed to move at normal rate. That's the nice simplicity of it. You can either do it or you can't do it, which is good. She's got a smaller sort of frame on her. It's not particularly heavy, and you do a fireman's lift.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay. The other woman sort of looks at you, sort of nods. You can see that she's actually very well dressed, quite possibly some kind of corporate. And once everybody's ready, they begin to move out as well. And we move back to you, Amos, at the top of the round.
Again, trying to just be that protective shield to the people behind us. I will fire and hopefully take one of them down. Shoot a pistol.
The one that you hit for 2 points of damage is still up. That wasn't the one that Hancock hit. So are you shooting at that one again?
Yeah, concentration of fire.
Perfect. Give us an attack.
With a -1.
That's going to be a miss. 7.
I will burn a luck point for a reroll.
Perfect.
I know you like us using our resources. Here we go.
You might as well. You've got until the end of the game, and they fade away. -1 is going to hit.
Yeah.
Getting a 12. I'd say these are only minors.
Oh, I probably don't need to do a critical here, do I? So I'm going to just roll the damage. I do get +1 from my weapon. So 4 points of damage.
A total of 6 points is easy enough. How do you want to take this person down?
One of the empty eye sockets now has a pistol bolt in it.
Yeah, that's very nice. I love the idea of you just sticking it straight into the head, and poof, there's an explosion behind. And again, there's blood. It's you're not quite sure what's going on here, because at first, how can this thing be alive still? But it seems severe damage has dispatches them. And the strangest thing happens on their turn. The ones that are right next to you, rather than attacking you or Hancock, they grab the fallen and begin to drag them away.
Some level of self-preservation.
Well, you have no idea. You don't know whether that has routed them or whether they are doing something else, but they don't certainly seem to have fled in fear. In fact, a couple of them are on their bellies still, and even so, they're kind of dragging them as they try and weave away. Unfortunately, the other two groups, though, move near and near again, and you have now 8 of them on the outside
no.
of you, with Hancock and Amos forming a front. It's going to be very difficult to move past them out of the main door unless you make a path. Then we move to Evrock. You'll go.
All right. I think this synth diesel's oil, isn't it?
Sorry, say again?
The synth diesel's the equivalent of oil, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So I think I'm going to just go and start splashing that at the door. Throwing it
Okay.
down.
I mean, you will get Hancock and Amos in it.
Well, I'm trying to just pull it at the floor rather than trying to splash it everywhere.
Okay,
to leak
so
in.
you're not doing that. You're just pouring it down, yeah?
Yeah, just knocking the container over by the
Okay,
door.
that's fine. Both you, Hancock and Amos, you see the fluid, this synth diesel. It's got this sort of multicoloured slick on the surface as it washes round your feet. Things are about to get not frosty but toasty. Okay, so that is what you do for the moment, Uvok, and then we move to Hancock.
Hancock's starting to warm to the task, I think. I hope he doesn't get too warm. And I'm assuming that something else is one of these things is in one of these ex-miners is within reach.
Yeah, well, they're all.
Oh, you're right. Yes,
you are.
With I swing the axe again and go for it.
Okay.
Pick another target and hang up. So we go. There you go.
That will be
a
miss. Even with
Less
your
good.
Modifier. Now you do have luck points, and you can use luck.
Oh
points
yes,
to
I
do
will
a reroll.
definitely burn a luck point at that point because I do have a luck point.
Yep. So that is a reroll.
Yeah.
You have modifiers to that as well, so 14 is going to hit.
So you can have. You can have that.
You take another one down as you just cleave this one down as well. It crashes to the ground, splashing in the synth diesel that is around.
So I sort of try and take a step away from the door to create room and shout, "Come on!"
Perfect. And then with that, move to Hardy.
I am going to move as necessary, trying to lead the sheriff and the other people, and carry my load away from the sheriff's office and the mob. As my action, I'm going to cast Detect Magic, trying to sense if there's something magic going around a cause for this.
I love that. So the way that magic works in Shadowdark is you have to hit a DC. Detect Magic is a first level, so it's 10 plus 1.
Right. And this will be a flat roll, no addition.
That is going to be a fail, which means you would lose that spell until you take a long rest, unless luck points.
Yeah, might as well.
Do you say no modifier?
Yeah, just a straight roll.
I'm afraid that is also a
No.
fail. So how does your detect magic, your scanning of the supernatural, how does that play out cinematically in Junkers?
You got the party will be used to this. Although it might be something that'll disturb our civilians. Hardy's eyes sort of glow and crackle with energy as he's sort of reaching out into the sort of the motive force, the ether, and trying to sort of scan or sense magic in these creatures.
Yeah. And if I can have a little bit of cinematic of perhaps why it hasn't worked, you do sense something. You sense something very powerful. There's some kind of compulsion upon them, some kind of level of madness that has consumed them to this. Something is causing them to obviously act this way. And the answer to that, you kind of just about sort of see, must lie somewhere in that crater.
Yeah.
But you know,
Yeah.
because the spell didn't function, you sense it for that moment,
Yeah.
and then it's gone.
Hardy's magic sort of, or what the mechanics of magic would be, sort of manifest as through like the use of like electricity and lightning attacks and all that. So hence the sort of glowing, crackling eyes. So I imagine for him, it's almost like a lightning bolt going off in his face, and he just sort of staggers a bit
Yeah,
and
perfect.
fails to really grasp the nature of it because he's just blasted by the feedback.
Lovely. There is more to this than meets the eye, without a doubt. And then we move to Amos.
Given that the ones that were, oh no, we got the other two groups, didn't we?
Yeah.
I would shoot at one from the group that's closest to me, that's between us and our ship.
Yeah, perfect. Go for it.
I'm really wishing I had 2 attacks at this point, but hey, this is low-level Shadowdark.
It's very rare that anyone in Shadowdark gets 2 attacks.
Yeah.
That is very nice, though. That is a hit.
Yeah, that's an 18. And I'm going to burn a luck point to turn it into a critical under the pulp rules.
Very nice.
So I will get 2 dice worth of damage, attempting to put somebody down, 1 shot to the head.
Yeah.
6.
And you do that, and most definitely you take another one out, and that is 2 out of all of these. It is their go now, though. So it is a dire situation here, Amos. There is Amos and Hancock. Though Hancock has disappeared, and so
yeah, I'm working on that. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Disembodied voice from the ether.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, just coming back in time. No. Okay. What is your armor class, Hancock?
I think he's gone again.
Yeah.
I just love the technologies.
Proper Shadowdark tech, this, isn't it? It doesn't work perfectly.
Yeah, sorry guys, I can hear you and I can see you, but
what was your armor class, Hancock?
Oh, don't ask questions like that. Considerably less than I want it to be. Just to say, I believe it's 8 because I've got 11 plus my Dex modifier, isn't it?
So this mob, unfortunately, grab you, and they're acting as a mob, so it's not individual ones, but because they have hit you, they are now trying to drag you away, and that is going to cause you a degree of damage as well. It is only a 1d4, and that is 1 point of damage. What is your hit points?
It's 9.
9. Oh, that's good. So it's now 8. But you are being dragged away, and as you're being dragged, they're not doing it in a careful manner. The other mob is going
Neither am I. While they're trying to drag me away, I'm trying to smash their brains in.
Absolutely, totally understandable.
Kicking and screaming.
Amos, same to you with the mob that's on you. Boom, boom, boom. What is your armor class?
13.
13. They've only got +1 to hit, so your shield saves you there, as they've only got a 12.
Oh,
As
yeah.
they try to do the same thing to you, but they just can't get over the shield to attack you at the moment. That is their go for the moment, and then we move to Eve Rock.
Okay, so most people are still inside, aren't they?
Yeah, they are sort of Hardy's trying to wait for a space. Space has kind of opened up now because they're dragging Hancock away. But at the
Time to
moment,
get outside.
yeah, Hardy and the rest of them are inside.
Okay, how far away is this mob that's dragging Hank?
They've only partially moved away, so near, within 30 feet or so.
Okay, I'm going to run out and get close-ish to, or near to them and
Yeah.
throw out some. What did we reskin them as? Shrapnel shards.
Okay, so you're going to throw it beyond them to try and slow them down and cause them some damage.
Yes.
Very nice. Okay,
And
so
I guess call out, get past that thing and light it on fire.
yeah, okay. Then we move to you, Hancock. You are.
I'd like to. I am fighting, kicking and screaming and
Yep.
making a lot of noise, bellowing and desperately trying to resist being dragged off.
Okay.
Uh,
So it's up to you how you want to try and deal with this. Do you want to do an attack, or do you want to try and struggle free?
I think I'll try and struggle free.
Okay. So this is going to be your strength check.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to set the DC. It's going to be 11 plus the number on you, and there's 3 on you at the moment.
Oh,
So DC is 14. That is not a 14.
no, it's more of a 6, isn't it?
Yeah. Have you got any luck points left?
No, I only rolled 1.
No, I haven't. I've got so many bits of information here. Now, luck points can be traded amongst players. Does anybody want to expend a luck point?
I've only got 1 left.
Yeah, I'll spare one for the crew.
Oh, bless you. Bless
Okay.
you, Skipper.
So again, your DC is 14 currently.
Oh.
A natural 20. Now, that is a critical hit. So I'm going to say that not only do you break free, but it's the best possible sort of breaking free, in the fact that you are up and you can have smashed one of them. I'm not going to say that it's an auto kill, but I'm going to give you a chance to swing your axe and see if you can hurt one of them.
So I get to make
You
a sort
get
of
to make
impromptu
just
attack.
an impromptu attack. Yeah, I think that, because you just got a critical on your escape.
Oh,
No, you're looking at 11s. I don't think you might have a +6. Okay, so you swing, but you sort of struggle back.
I stagger out of a pile of others' bodies. Some of them
Yep.
fall over as I wrench myself free.
Perfect.
And I
Love it. Then we move to Hardy.
Seeing that Hancock has gotten himself free, and still sort of with a crackling headache, I'm going to cast Magic Missile, which again is this sort of, you watch as sort of his strange gauntlets sort of crackle with energy, and he's going to basically blast him with lightning.
Okay, lovely. So DC is still 11, but I believe Magic Missile you cast with advantage.
Yes. So.
Such a good bit of design, that.
Oh.
That's the first one. I'm definitely going to need the second one.
Okay, so it is only a 2. Good news is it's not a miscast. That's the good news. You do have, how many luck points do you have left? 2, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll spend one for
Okay.
a reroll.
Go for it. No, unlucky.
No, I think that whatever's caused this, whatever's in that crater, is so disruptive. It's throwing my magic completely out of whack.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, then we move back up to Amos.
Have I got a group in nigh on physical contact with me
Yeah.
as well as this group that was dragging?
Yeah, the group that was dragging is a little way away.
Yeah.
Because all they had to do was grapple and then drag away.
Yeah.
But you've got this group in front of you. You've taken one down already.
Can I make my movement towards our ship
Mhm.
and then fire back at this group?
Yeah. There's no attacks of opportunity or anything.
That's what I was remembering.
You're not penned in, so you can't move.
Yeah.
You can kind of push your way around or whatever, so that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So
I
you
take
start making your way towards your ship.
and then fire back at this group, hoping to put down another one.
Yep. The dice gods are not with you tonight, crawlers.
I'm using my last luck point.
Okay. Oh dear.
Ow.
Yep. Your gun starts to jam.
Yeah, that's unfun.
Okay. Then it's them. Rather than chasing you down, poor Hancock, two groups begin to converge upon him. One of the groups, though, the caltrops, it slows their movement, and do they take 1 point of damage? Is that right?
Yes, I believe that's correct.
Yeah, I'm just trying to remember all of those different rulings. We'll just quickly check caltrops.
Caltrops, I'm glad I've only got one leg.
Yeah.
Half speed for 10 rounds and 1 point of damage.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So that's good. It's not enough to kill them, but they kind of move a little bit. But they've got enough movement to converge. So this is going to be 2 attacks against you, Hancock. First one coming in. A 12 is going to hit, as we established before. That does a solid 4 points of damage with you, and you are grappled again and begin to be dragged away. Moving alongside that is the second group, which also unfortunately miss you. Bearing in mind your chance to escape is based on the number that have got you. At the moment, you have 3 on you. That is their go, and then we move to Evrock.
Sometimes being a captain is so perilous. And I guess I'm going to be firing a magic missile. The mob
Oh,
that's
right.
going to take the hold.
Excellent. That is a critical hit. I think you've been draining all of Hardy's luck. You are a magic sink. I believe it's just cast at the best possible way. You double the dice, is that right? So it should be 2d4.
I think so, yeah.
For a critical hit. Yeah, that's enough. 4 points of damage. You blast one of them holding on to Hancock, and there are only 2 on Hancock now. How are you positioning yourself?
Yeah, I'm trying to help, but I'm not getting anywhere near them. I'm still moving towards the ship.
Okay, so you're going to be together with Amos now. Then we move to Hancock.
I'm going to
Yourself.
try and again. I'm roaring and strangely enjoying myself. Well, Hancock is.
Yeah.
I'm not. But Hancock's clearly not full shilling. And he's going to try and throw them off again. So that's a strength roll,
Strength, yeah, you've got 2 on you now, so that is a 13 that you need, and that is
Oh,
13.
no.
You are dragged down. There are others that are waiting to pounce upon you. It is horrible. The skin on their faces is flapping across your skin and face. It's still moist with blood. Oh, and
Yep, that
the
happens.
light goes out as well. You are plunged into darkness. That was your turn, Hancock. Suddenly the lights go out, and then we move to Hardy.
All you can hear then is Hancock bellowing and laughing. Ah, you like that, do you? Ha!
Yeah, it's a perfect end, maybe. Hardy, the lights have just gone out.
And let's see. I was going to cast Protection from Evil, but I can't see him anymore.
Yeah, it is pitch black.
Can I cast it? No, that's going to be a disadvantage. That'd be even worse, because that's more likely to fail. I am going to try and light a torch, because if we can't see what we're doing, we're all going to die.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will reach into my pack and as best I can, and it's really awkward. And I'm gonna get a torch out and crack it on open.
Yeah. The other two, well, no, the sheriff helps you. The corporate woman doesn't with the woman that you're carrying at the moment. You see that he's enfeebled somewhat as well, but he does his best. He's certainly been wounded, but putting a brave face on it. And you light your torch. You crack your flare. It flares up, and we start again. Doesn't sound very much, but it's made a huge difference. Not only in the fact you can now see, and these dark adapted miners don't have advantage on you and you have disadvantage on them, but the danger level would have escalated to a 1 as well. You can though move if you wish to move. There is a sea of synth diesel around your feet and in the doorway. There are caltrops to one side. There is 2 mobs on Hancock. Their attentions are on them. It is up to you what you wish to do.
Well, the only thing I have left is movement, so I'm gonna have to try and get out of here.
Yeah. So you're going to move your full movement near and catch up with Evrock and Amos. Yeah. Okay. The other 2 move with you, sort of. So you've got everybody out of this now, and you are maybe 3 full rounds of double movement away from the landing pad. So fair distance to go. With that, we move to Amos. Your gun is a piece of junk at the moment. Do you want to spend a turn trying to repair it, or are you going to take a different course of action?
Yeah, I'll attempt to repair it and then move towards our ship.
Okay.
Int
Yeah,
or
it
wisdom?
it was a critical thing. So it's not just like reloading. This is a problem. So it feels that you should have to make a roll.
Yep.
I'm pleased for you to either use either intelligence, wisdom, or even dexterity. It seems to be, using your hands or understanding the mechanisms of the The gun, any of those would be appropriate. You do have light. You are on the edge. I know Hardy's moved out now, so you have full light.
I'll take a wisdom roll.
Yep. I'm going to say DC is you're gonna do that on a 12. That is fine. I was going to say DC's 9. It's not necessarily a real big problem.
It's just the time I don't get to shoot with it.
Yeah, absolutely. And it takes an action as well, so it's taken one of your potential movements. Are you moving away still towards?
Yeah, moving towards the ship.
Okay, so you move near.
Would I still be within range of shooting next turn for the mobs on Hancock?
The pistol is what, a short bow?
Yes.
I'm sure the range on that is far, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so far is within line. So as long as you can see them.
Cool.
The problem is if Hardy moves, then he's moving the light. They will be descended into darkness. So you won't be able to see them. That is the problem, unless you want to get someone to waste one of their torches or flares, crack it and throw it down where the combat is happening. But unfortunately, that is your turn anyway. You can't do anything else. And unfortunately for Hancock, it is the deranged miner's turn. So we're going to do a roll here. That is a hit on an 18 plus 1. So you are taken down yet again for 1 point of damage.
Still fighting.
Yeah.
That hurts. I love you.
The other mob get you as well. So that is 5 on you now, and you take another 2 points of damage. You've got 5 of them on you. That's all of them. There's this wrestling match going on in the synth diesel now. You are soaked in it. They are soaked in it. And they all, because that's their actions, they start dragging you off towards the crater, kicking and screaming. That is their go. We move to Evrock.
I'm going to attempt to cast light on the horde.
Okay, let us just double check the spell. I mean, you tend to know what you're talking about, Everock.
How far away is it?
You are near at the moment. You are not close. Do you need to, in effect, touch it to cast
the
light?
case. I've mixed up close with near.
Yeah, so close is next to, near is round about 30 feet, and far is as far as you can see, really, provided you've got line of sight.
Okay. Do I think a magic missile could, if I aim for sort of the ground around where they are, cause a spark to light up this diesel?
We are going off-road, which I always like to do in Shadowdark. That's what it's all about. It's magical energy. I don't have a problem. We've said there's no real power about, but I think it's awfully cinematic. What's great is you might fail to cast a spell, so that you're not having to hit an armor class, you're just having to succeed on doing it. You do have advantage. I'm going to say yes if you succeed to cast the spell. I mean, if you are setting the synth diesel on, it's going to set aflame these miners, and it's going to set aflame Hancock. They've been wrestling in this synth diesel.
I can't see any other way. That's what I'm going to try and do.
It's what he'd want.
It's a better way to go, perhaps.
He seems to be enjoying it, so I'm sure he likes the pain.
Okay, well, let's just see how this does as you bump. you definitely I mean, no one can argue. The dice like to tell a story. That is a critical hit. On the synth diesel itself, there's a roar of flames.
And I have
Oh,
Hancock blasted away from them with the natural 20.
Oh no, I mean that's pushing it too much. I mean, if you wanted the full damage of 2 magic missiles to blast him away, if he survives that, that is appropriate.
I think that'd be unfair, as I'm aiming to actually hit the ground to cause the spark.
Yeah.
Okay, how about we negotiate and say 1d4 of damage then, of blast damage, with it being a critical hit.
Okay, I'll take
He
that.
will still be taking the fire damage as well, though. But he will be free of the grappling effect of these creatures that will also be on fire.
I think he's going to die from it, but it's cinematic, so...
Yeah.
Okay. So, Hancock, you take 3 points of blast damage. Are you still up at the moment?
and down to that's it. Down.
Right. Okay. So you're on 0 hit
Burning
points.
and yeah.
Well, you're not necessarily dead because you now roll a d4 and add your con modifier to it.
Okay, my con modifier is +1.
So what is that? Is that a 4?
I believe it is.
Yeah. So there are 5 rounds before you expire. But you are burning as well, which is not ideal. So each time you take damage, I'm going to... Sorry?
The fight seems to have gone out of Hancock. He seems a little bit singed.
Yeah. Okay. So that is your go, Evrock. We move to you, Hancock. You are dying.
Thank you.
That's okay. We need to just have a look at oil. Oil causes... Is it damage at the start of the turn for 4 rounds?
One plus closer. It burns for 4 rounds, dealing 1 for d4 damage each round.
Okay. So, Hancock, could you roll me a d4, please? Okay, so you've lost 2 rounds. You've got 3 rounds left as you are burning and calling out. Then we move to Hardy.
Yeah, that sucks. I'm gonna run for the ship.
Okay, double move. The good news is that you can see the burning miners and the burning Hancock at the moment. They are lit up by the synth diesel flames. I mean, I don't know if that is good news, but so when your light disappears as you move near and near, you can still see what is going on there. And then we move to Amos.
Kind of accepting the inevitable, follows suit and makes for the ship.
Okay. So
Sorry, my friend.
Okay.
Crew.
You double move, then we move to the miners. We're going to just speed this up by saying just roll 1d4 and this will apply to all of them. There are 5 of them. 3. Not enough to finish them off, but the next time it will be, as they are not doing anything else now but kind of writhing in pain, unable really to like try and pursue you. They've got other things on their mind, let's face it, at the moment. They certainly feel that kind of pain. Then we move to you, Evrock.
Evrock pauses for a moment, staring at the scene beforehand, reaching into his pocket. and pulls out a coin, flicks it towards the burning corpse, before turning and running back towards the ship.
Okay. Crew member paid in full, maybe. Okay. Hancock. Unfortunately,
Hello.
roll a d4. You kind of want to get a 3 and die here, otherwise it's just going to extend your agony. Yes, you go down in flames. But whatever reason they were trying to drag you off for, at least you don't have to experience that horror. Then we
Oh, that showed him.
yeah, absolutely. We move to
That'll
Hardy.
learn you. Ha
We move to Hardy.
I'm just running for the ship, carrying
Okay. The
the
other
people.
people are moving with you. We move to Amos.
The same.
Same. Okay. And then roll another d4. Evrock for the miners. Yeah, with that, they are incinerated. The horrible stench of burning flesh now reaches your nostrils as you get to your ship. As you get to your ship, has your ship been disabled, attacked? Who would like to ensure that it hasn't? Who has enough luck left?
Captain, my captain.
I will certainly spend a luck if that means it hasn't been disabled.
It seems to be absolutely fine. You'll be pleased to know.
Are we planning to leave? I mean, most of them were just incinerated.
Yeah, we're out of here.
We're leaving.
When you say most of them and you begin to look back, you see that this settlement had around about 30 miners. You've dealt with maybe 10 or so. The other 20 slowly but surely crawling out of the pit, moving towards the flames that are still flickering. The sheriff's office now aflame, burning. You are not alone here still.
Okay, well, then I guess we're getting off. So, before we do, I'm curious to try and cast my own detect alien artifacts.
Okay.
See what I can glean.
So, yeah, give us a roll. That is a success. So, yes, something strange here. Something different. Not something that you've experienced before. Not xenotech, but something else completely. Emerging life that needs to be nurtured and fed. Something that hungers, something that wishes birth.
Okay, let's fly off.
Nuke it from the orbit. Only way to be sure.
Okay. You take off. You begin to set flight. Are you looking to return to Boom Town?
I believe so.
And have some really serious questions for this corporate woman and the data packet that hopefully the sheriff is now understanding.
Oh no, as soon as we're airborne, I'm ripping that data packet open and seeing what's inside.
There's a data shard, encrypted, of course.
Yeah, I will stick it in. I presume data shards go into like tablets and things. I will stuff one into a tablet and basically almost throw it at the sheriff. Answers now.
Of course. I mean, this is certainly got nothing to do with what is going on down there. She
Sure it does.
has all the answers, and he points to the corporate woman. He does not
Oh.
look best pleased about it. She smiles and says, "It's above all of your pay grades."
Right.
And that
Oh, Hardy's
Space
got
Earth.
answers for her.
that is where we will roll credits for now, for she is on your ship and other things can be done. But her answers perhaps have to be very good. You've lost one of your own here. One of your own, and with what you reached out with, Evrock, and sensed, there's something more than just the Xenos that belong to this. It seems many things might have lay dormant as this vast archive has travelled through the cosmos. Maybe at some point we will continue to find out what on earth has plagued Darkhold. Or maybe it's best, as you said, just to be nuked from orbit. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that. Questions? You escaped with your life. Not a lot of tech, but answers. And who knows, perhaps you will be paid, rewarded by this corporation, or perhaps you can use the information to get boons and the like out of it. It's not so much no payday as, well, how can we make this profitable?
Yeah.
And there's always a way. Brilliant. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let us do what we normally do, which is a quick sort of round table, sort of asking you what you thought about it and everything else. Be honest about it. The cameras are all over the place at the moment because we once again had some tech problems, but we'll start off with you, Malcolm, that is up in the top corner there.
Yeah, great storytelling there. Really interested in the different types of encounters and storytelling you can now do on something that's this big. We've got both civilized behavior-ish, corporate espionage, and fighting for our own lives and losing one.
Yeah.
He born to die. He was born to die.
That's
Simple as that.
it's
Character like that.
yeah, no, interesting because obviously when I wrote Scratching the Surface, and I don't know whether I've mentioned, but it's available for purchase now from Drive-Thru. It was very much like, oh, you find this vast alien ship and you sort of go down. It was like, so it's all about exploring the ship then. But of course, what I had in mind is that suddenly, because it's so big, you have all of these factions showing up and causing their own problems. But also the fact that something this big moving through space has attracted kind of like sort of barnacles and limpets and all of this kind of stuff over time. Which, like you say, opens up the storytelling substantially more. Kyle.
It was a great story. I can't apologise enough, Dave, for killing you, but I don't think there was any other way out of that.
No, you had to. This game is brutal. There is no way I thought I sat down to play this game and thought survival. We were all going to get out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And numbers really tell.
Yeah. I mean, it is a dangerous game, and combat is very dangerous. There was a number of options which we didn't need to. It wasn't like, oh, you need to do this to survive. You could have just fled, which most of you did. You could have tried to hole up in the jail till things quietened down again, and then snuck out and started doing that. So there was you could have like tried to lose them amongst the encampment as well. But a straight up fight can be dangerous, even with these which weren't particularly dangerous entities. They were just miners that were sort of dominated or controlled or turned or whatever. Spoilers, I don't particularly want to tell you the full story. I'm saving it for our second publication. But Deaths in Shadowdark, it really makes it feel that more dangerous. It's quite nice to escape by the skin of your teeth all of the time, but this really hammers it home that if you are not careful, there will be casualties. I want to say a big thank you to you, Dave, for understanding that and embracing that concept.
No, that's it. It's just part of it. And we got in a combat situation. The character's got dexterity of 5.
Yeah.
So shooting seemed a very improbable thing for the guy to be doing, and I just let the dice make the character.
Yeah.
So he's got a high strength and no dexterity at all.
Absolutely.
So he just had to have a big axe.
Yeah.
He had to be a dwarf with a big axe, and that was that.
It's very nice.
And he's not going to run away.
Yeah.
So it's great fun. I really enjoyed that. I did think I was hoping I'd get away. Got to be said. But,
I think that's always the right approach, is to try and succeed, but understanding that it might not necessarily happen.
I kind of think I bought a bit of time. I drew them off. They didn't get the dice. That's it.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So there's plenty more dice to roll. There's plenty more characters. It's a big universe.
Absolutely. Last but not least, Brian.
Good game. Interesting change of pace from our usual fantasy setting in the smoke. It was good to get a chance to play a wizard. It's not something I've done. Usually I'm playing a fighter.
Yeah.
I have to say, not particularly pleased with how the characters played out. I'm really feeling that. I mean, I'm really feeling that when you fail to cast it, that's pretty much it. And the backup options for a wizard are a knife or a stick, and that's
yeah. I mean,
that hurts.
In many ways. That is in combat.
Oh yeah.
What my advice with Shadowdark is, because there's no skills in it, it's you do what you want to do, and it's based off your abilities. It's very important to, and I'm saying this in a game that there can be like big casualties, but it's really important to kind of go, well, my character it does this kind of thing. So it's beyond just making those dice rolls for casting magic, and you become useful. It's like, I've studied the histories of the universe, or I'm an astrophysicist, or
I've had that in the regular smoke game with Hector, who has used his background for all sorts of arcane stuff. It's just in this evening's game, in this situation, it's wizard stuff just went poofed.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, it is a game of variance. I try and mitigate that, certainly in
like I said, it was good fun. It's just this session, the wizard as a thing just didn't really.
Well, for you, the other wizard did very well, and I mean that shows.
It's just the dice.
It is just the dice, and so I try and mitigate it a little bit with making this pulp, giving you potentially rerolls and stuff. But sometimes the dice are not on your side, and they help tell the story. And I think the best way to the best mindset to go with that in this kind of game is think of really fun, cool things of why it has failed, as opposed to, I've rolled, I can't do it again. That's unlucky. I mean, if you got mishaps, I mean, madness begins then.
I've seen the table. And, like I said, I think we managed to have some interesting narrative reasons why that reflect the story rather than just a bad dice roll.
Mhm.
Like I said, in this situation, I just felt like, well, now I
Oh.
don't have any of my special toys. So
Yeah. No.
I'm going to run away.
Yeah. Totally understand.
Cowards.
The
Oh, sorry.
the feeling of that. But we can, if this was a sort of ongoing regular campaign, what I would be thinking now is, right, let's work out why. Is there some connection with this thing that was in there, and sort of tying it together, these kind of strands of why, so you could research it and then come back, because the variance on the dice isn't your fault. And what I like variants to do is help tell a story. So, in many ways, we can use that moving forward to open up even more sort of interesting
absolutely.
sort of directions. Anyway, the apologies for all of the videos, all of the scenes going all over the place tonight.
Yeah, sorry guys.
It's
Apologies.
okay.
I'm just having technical problems and I don't know what's gone wrong with my camera, basically. Sorry.
It happens. You are always welcome at my table, Dave. You are such good fun to have along as a player, so don't worry about it. I'm sure the viewers don't mind either. It's quite good for us to be rough and ready, and not as slick as maybe some other channels, because we're still having fun, and hopefully you've enjoyed sort of watching too. So some of us have to be up very, very early tomorrow, so I think this is the perfect point now, after doing that round table, to thank everybody for allowing us to do this Shadowdark special. Hope you've enjoyed sort of watching. Time to say good night to everybody, and bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night,
Thanks
everybody,
very
and
much.
bye-bye.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
See
Bye.
you next time. Bye for now.